Hello everyone and welcome to an update news video. We're going to go over some of the new announcements from Eternal. There's two most recently, a new chapter and also the sealed deck leagues. I am Counterbob and I am joined by Foz himself. How are you doing, Foz?
Doing pretty good,
Sweet. I am very excited for all this stuff.
as am I.
Yes, it's definitely interesting and I like the way they're going. I wasn't expecting any sort of these updates or changes. All of a sudden, it seems like Eternal's thing is just to, hey, here's a thing, without like much lead up. It's
hmm
just here's a thing, and just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nice to giving us a little bit of a heads up here with the chapters and the leagues.
Mm-hmm.
They have more information than at least I'm used to from the game since I started playing. So
Yes. So seasons will now be changed to chapters. So I believe it says here on the updates, the next season was supposed to be season 17. It'll be now chapter 17, enemies at the gates, and they're doing this in part to kind of bring up the lore. And I hear the lore is really good and interesting, and our last campaign seemed pretty cool. But I play without any sound and don't really pay attention to it. So for me, this part of it isn't really such a big deal. But I like some of the other things that's going along with the change. I don't know about you if you're in that same sort of boat.
yeah, I mean, I'm not too big into lore. I did follow it a little bit when I played Magic, and in various other games I'll follow the lore a little bit, but it's never like my main focus when I pick a game to play in the style of card games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's a nice way though for them to like introduce new lore, gradually instead of having to wait every 3 to 6 months, however it may be, for another campaign to drop.
Yep. And with that, they're bumping up the amount of promo cards. So each month we'll have a promo card, and it's introducing a new thing, a new unit type, I guess, the heroes. So certain Eternal cards are getting rebranded as heroes in addition to what they are now, and each of the monthly promos will be a new hero to kind of give you a better glimpse of what's going on in the world of Eternal itself. And we were talking off camera about some of the ideas for this, and I think you had some really good ones. If you want to go off on that.
Yeah, something that intrigued me about this is that a lot of them are named, like the named characters of the game, like Caleb, Roland, etc., etc. And similarly in Magic, which is a game that this is of course heavily based off of, those cards are typically legendary creatures and had a whole subtext of rules based on the fact that they were a little bit more powerful than your average card,
Mm-hmm.
or had a little bit of a unique effect. Anyone who's played Magic knows the legendary rule is you could have one legend of each name on your side of the board, yours and your opponent's. Each person can have their own legendary of the same name. So it does add a little bit of a thought process between, not being able to just jam potentially your best unit over and over again, like we see in a lot of these, Tavron and Ikaria decks, which would be interesting if they implemented some kind of rule text like that, where now you can only have one Ikaria Liberator on the board on your side of the board. Though some of the cards that have gotten the hero tag are a lot less, I would say, vibrant and individually strong on their own. So they feel more like a normal unit, kind of like the newer Milos, kind of
Mm-hmm.
more subdued, aggressive threat. Not really something that's really flashy or has this huge effect. So it would be interesting to see going forward if they implement something like that, or kind of have their own take on a hero rule per se.
Yeah, currently at the announcement, they said at present this is an under the hood change with no mechanical effects, but we're working on some fun related things for down the road. So right now, just kind of putting it in there for some of the character and lore based stuff, but it looks like they are going to do something with it. So maybe there's some sort of other cards that just interact with heroes. But I do
Yeah,
like that legend type rule, uh, that snowball effect of Tavrod into a Tavrod or an Ikaria Warcrying into another Ikaria. Those are like the two like big, I guess, offenders of like that sort of thing. But some of these
yeah.
other legends don't really snowball like that, so it could be some testing that doing something like that.
and it could be something similar what Magic has done in the past, where they specifically name legendary as like their version of hero.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be in the card? So there's cards past that destroy legendary creatures. There's cards that just that return them from the graveyard, bring them back to fight again. There's the ones that search them up and find them to help you. So it'll be interesting if they use that kind of go at it, where these being heroes give you a benefit or a negative, depending on who's playing the card and what the card's trying to do. So that could also be an interesting angle that they could easily implement, which would be kind of cool, I would think.
Yep. Yeah, my first thing when I saw like Hero, I didn't read like what it was about. I saw Hero and got like a brief glimpse. I didn't read that's like already some of the units got it. My first thought was Planeswalkers. So I'm like, are they putting like that type of thing? Then I read it, I'm like, oh no, it's just a unit based thing. And then when we were talking about the legendary thing, I'm like, oh, that would be like perfect. It would make these units like Tavrod and Ikaria. These are like big name things. It would give that effect to them, like especially since they're trying to push lore and stuff. Like they are this powerful, legendary, basically hero in this world. So it gives them, there is only one.
There's only one, exactly.
So I do like that, and I'm interested to see what kind of promos come out from this. See how long they plan on doing this. Is it for now and forever? It's always going to be a hero promo, or is it just for the next X amount of months till they kind of got enough heroes out there in the world, or so.
It could definitely be a touch and go thing, especially since the game is relatively young in comparison to how many cards, especially considering how many cards are in the game, how many cards they're adding to the game. Definitely determine because it could be something where they're just trying to add cards to the pool of cards initially by putting out a promo every month, maybe ramping up the strength of these promos, because I know some people have not been too pleased with the quality of some of the promos.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a fair gripe, but it's a free card. But it would be nice to maybe make an impact on the meta here and there with these potentially powerful hero cards.
Yes.
So that would be pretty cool. But being able to get more cards in the game is always a plus, especially the current state where we only have 3 sets, 3 campaigns, and more cards is never a bad thing, at least for now.
Yeah, especially if it's in the future there is like talk when the next set comes out. Maybe there is a shift where it's can't think of the right word, where it shifts into rotation. Yeah, a rotation. So then like these promos help refill the standard portion of the card pools pretty quickly.
I still think we're quite a ways away from rotation. I know I see the talk on Reddit a lot when we're seeing rotation. Like especially in a game like this, like they tend to rotate once a year, but that's usually when they have 2 years of cards in the game. That's you see in Hearthstone, that's what you see in Magic. We're not there yet. We still have effectively in the equivalency of Hearthstone or Magic, we have basically 1 year's worth of cards. We have 3 sets. Magic does 3 sets a year, or 4 sets a year, which is equivalent of, I would say probably 3 sets plus 2 campaigns of Eternal. So we have a little bit more than that now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say give it time. Give it at least until next year before we start talk about rotation. But maybe it becomes a thing which I have noticed is that they do attach these promos to a specific set. So it does seem like they already are setting up their ability to, push a rotation if that comes to be a need down the line.
Yeah. Plus they have the campaigns, which are these very mini sets. So that also does help a little bit. I think they could be looking at maybe 4 to 5 sets per standard block. So I definitely think we're at least minimum 2 sets away from any sort of rotation. But who knows? It's all up in the air.
Yeah, it's kind of a new concept because we have Magic, which is they've had their structure with how they release sets for years now. 4 sets a year, but they obviously changed up individually how they release those sets.
Mm-hmm.
What the theme is of the sets, and then Hearthstone, another game where this is in a sense based off at least off like how you acquire cards with the Shiftstone system. Hearthstone, I think they do about 3 sets a year now at all. but there's typically a lot less cards in Hearthstone than there are in other games. So it'll be interesting. Like they could go in the middle ground. They could have, or they could have a lot more cards.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what Direwolf decides to do with, as far as the quantity of cards that are in a constructed format at any given time. If they choose to let it go for a while, I mean, we could have a lot of cards in. Well, we would be constructed for quite a while.
Yes. And now another thing that was spoken about in this release was the shift from seasons to chapters opened up kind of a window, and they put in League. And at first no one knew what that was going to be. Was it going to be a best of 3 option? But today they announced that sealed deck leagues will be introduced on April 1st. Hopefully it's not an April Fool's joke. I think that would upset a lot of people. But I am excited for it.
Pretty legit.
Yeah,
This seems like a legit announcement.
Yeah. So sealed deck leagues is going to be great. I think it's a good start for where they want to do with leagues. So what is leagues? They are, let's see, we got it here. How leagues work. They'll run for a month, similar to, same schedule as the seasons or now chapters. With sealed, when you join, you'll get the 8 packs of your Eternal cards to build a 45 card deck. Currently they have it marked as 4 packs of Dusk Road, 2 packs of Empty Throne, 2 Omens of the Past. So you'll build your deck with that. And then similar to like the event style, how it's your first 10 games count, it's the same style here. So your first 10 games of the week will count to your standing in the leaderboards. There's some tiebreakers when you're playing additional games, but you can see that on the screen here. And also I'll put all the links to these announcements in the description. Each week you'll gain an additional pack. So by the end of it all, you'll have 11 total packs. So your last week, you're building a deck with 11 total packs to make your 45 card deck. So you have a lot of options. These decks will get better as time goes on. So that's super exciting. I like that. And the one thing I was reading through, I'm like, well, how much is it going to cost? And of course, they put that at the bottom. It's 10k gold or 800 gems to enter. And counting it out, you're getting 1 pack free if you just from getting the packs week to week. So that's 11 packs for 10k gold, not including any of the rewards you'll get. That's a really good value.
Yeah, even at the base value, you get a little extra there, which is nice.
Yes. So I'm excited to see how well this takes up. People complained, well, not really complained. There's always that kind of worry about if they ever introduce some sort of like proper ranked or league thing, that it would take away from like the normal ladder, so your queues would be longer. But I think with this, you're only trying to play 10 games a week, so you're going to jump back into that normal ranked ladder scene. It's not going to take too many people away, and this is a very good first step in how leagues are going to work, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting take on what they could have done with it. I think this is probably the best place they could have started.
Mm-hmm.
Is with a sealed league. It makes a lot of sense. It's something that they can price reasonably for people to feel an interest in starting it up, and it's something very similar to what you see on Magic Online with leagues, but this of course is more long form throughout the course of the month, whereas you can easily finish a Magic Online league in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And like similar to what Magic does in their paper form in stores, where they have a month long league after every set release. So this is very interesting. I think it'll give a nice little side mode for them to experiment with each month and change things up, similar to like how Hearthstone does Tavern Brawls, and
Mm-hmm.
various other games will have like their special game mode of the week, so people can change it up a little bit. And Sealed's a good place to start. It's a game mode that's very familiar to the classic TCG player, whether you've played Magic, of course, in the past. This is a very classic game mode for pre-releases and release events galore, and Grand Prix as well. So it'll definitely reward experienced players with that, but also people who have drafted an Eternal. They'll understand it's a very similar power level and very similar tier list of cards that you're going to want to be putting into your decks and value when you make a sealed deck for this. So I'm really excited. I mean, I love Sealed. It's like the main reason when I played Magic, I would go to all the pre-releases
Mm-hmm.
because I loved playing Sealed. It's a format that's, I would say, it's a barrier to entry skill wise is a lot lower than a draft. A draft would be. I know a lot of people who love Sealed who hate draft.
That's me. I not a
So
big draft fan. Love sealed.
yeah, Sealed is you open your packs, you get to see what you have, and you know it's really go with the flow. You like it does definitely test your will as as a limited player, knowing you know oh man I have this really cool card in this faction, but I have nothing else to support it. Making sure where to go with your deck is sometimes which catches a lot of the newer people off guard because maybe they overvalue a certain card and they build their deck incorrectly. And I think that's one of the great things about Seal is there's so many ways you can go because you have so many packs and so many cards to work with in comparison to Draft, which is 4 packs, so 48 cards.
Yeah, and you can open a bomb on week 1, but have no support cards for it. But by week,
Mm-hmm.
2, you've opened up a couple more packs, and you're like, oh sweet, I got for my sweet Shadow Legendary Bomb, I opened up all these good Shadow cards. Okay, my deck can totally shift. So there's potential for playing the same deck weeks 1 and 2, and by week 3 you're playing a totally different deck just because of what you opened, which is definitely interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the adaptability going week to week with the extra pack each week. It'll definitely be interesting, especially there being 4 packs of Dusk Road.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of my big gripes with Draft right now is the fact that Dusk Road has so many strong synergy cards, but you only see 2 packs of it, and then it feels like Empty Throne and Omens of the Past kind of water down the draft to a point.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to see 4 packs of Dusk Road, you might be able to see those synergies a little bit more frequently in a sealed environment than you would have in your normal draft environment, which definitely going to be interesting and fun.
Yep, all the bond and ally mechanics and stuff like that, I think will really stand out in this format. You see some of it in your standard constructed play, but not so much. I think sealed, it's really going to shine with those. It's going to be definitely breaking out some cards. Some are okay in draft, but in sealed they'll be better because of you'll have that pool will just be bigger, and you'll be able to really take advantage of those effects.
Yeah, and sealed does tend to be a slower format than draft because you're not guaranteed to be able to draft like a very well curved deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll see some people be able to draft a good selection of 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, be able to curve out well, be aggressive, have all this picked up removal. With sealed, you're not guaranteed to have in the colors that are your best colors, or in the factions in this case for Eternal. You're not guaranteed that you're going to be able to play 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop every single game, and be able to have these really tuned decks. Though I assume towards the end of the league, once we have 11 packs, you will see a bit more tuned decks.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. So a lot of cards that tend to not shine as well in draft because they might be a little too slow or clunky. They might have a chance to show their true strength in a sealed environment where you're not necessarily being run out of the game by some of the more aggressive decks in draft.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a good spot to kind of test how they're going to run leagues in the future. It may not be always sealed, but I think doing it this way, testing out the leaderboards and how to run it, sealed is a really good choice. And going forward, you may see, two months in a row of sealed, and then 1 month of best of 3, and then back to sealed. I would definitely be down for that. That would be great. And it's great to see them starting to push more sort of competitive type play with this. They don't run any official tournaments. We have the ETS and some others are popping up now, but Direwolf doesn't run any of their official tournaments. So this is a first step. Hopefully it keeps piling on, but these 2 announcements were awesome. Very excited, and I think things going forward are just going to get better and better.
As do I. I mean, sealed is it is your bread and butter competitive format in past card games. You see more of this format played in Magic at the Grand Prix level than any other format because it is so flexible as sets get released and things change. You can always do sealed. So I'm really excited for this to be brought over to Eternal. I hope, like you said, Connor Bob. I hope they keep bringing it back. Maybe with tweaks here and there if they find that they feel to maybe increase the number of certain set or decrease the number of certain set. I'd be really excited for an 8 Dusk Road pack. Sealed. That would be really cool. See all the crazy synergies with Bond and Ally just completely to the max, without some of like the more swingier cards from, let's say, set 1 being around.
Yep. So I'm excited. You seem excited, and I think that's a good point to end our little discussion. If you guys want to comment and leave any of your feedback, that'd be great. Love to hear what everyone has to say, and we're looking forward to April 1st.